Excellent. Let's do a little video on it. Video. Yeah, I just had a strange experience, and it happened. I didn't really make much of a mental note of it, which was strange. Like I was trying to forget about it, as if it never happened. And I woke up early this morning. I don't know even what time. I'm just trying to picture in my mind what time it was. I mean, I thought it was later in the morning, but maybe it wasn't. Like 6 o'clock, I think it was. Did I get up as well? Yeah, maybe it was 4 in the morning. It seems like sometimes 4 in the morning is a crucial time, between 4 and 5. And I had something. I'm trying to see if there's any dreams before. It's almost like there's a block, like trying to think back beyond. But then again, when you're asleep or resting, there are periods where you don't do anything. And it could be that I've chosen to just discount it a little bit as well. So I felt like something lent in when I was asleep, enough to disturb my sleep. I opened my eyes. I started opening my eyes, and everything was white. It was literally like bright white, and maybe there was a face there in front of me for a second. So maybe it was even in a different dimension if it's like that, or it's purely neurological. If an entity connects, these people feeling they've been abducted and stuff like that. It could be that it's a mind-to-mind sort of connection, and actually they haven't left the room at all. They've just been, they've just sort of gone into this other simulation, which makes you wonder what reality is itself. If people are going off into simulations and experiencing things they feel like uncomfortable or intrusive. So I just don't know. And the thing is, for a second I thought, oh, it's an alien. It's like nothing. Like I've just seen a squirrel or a pigeon or something. So whether that's just a kind of dismiss it, I guess you can also normalise if you see so many different things. But lately I haven't been so much involved. I've been concentrating on music. I've been doing sort of AI music and experimenting with different AI models and mixing them across. So I did something today where I had like a zombie-topia or something, where I've had a sort of the undead, but it's getting towards sort of Halloween. That's some of that. And I had zombie Rita. I did a love letter, so if someone's partner turned into like a zombie, but there was still some kind of a relationship there. I think there was a series called like Brains or something, a bit like that. Someone's girlfriend or even her boyfriend's a zombie, and I had something like that with the like undead or evil dead or something. Not Evil Dead. It was yeah. Some of the old things. I'm just trying to think of it. Walking Dead. No, could be. And they had someone who died, and the boyfriend says, "Oh, can't I just have your brains? I just want to be your first and have your brains," or something deranged. So anyway, I've been working on different music models and stuff like that. Playing some computer games, which aren't them type of. They're more because I've been playing something Helldivers. The actual enemies I've been fighting look like Terminator, blooming type of cross with something else maybe, and Warhammer 40k elements and a mixture of other things, influences as well. And Space 1999s for these dropships, but there's nothing that relates to. I haven't seen a white type of alien. I saw it's like black eyes, and maybe the face was slightly almond, but it was all white, so I couldn't really for sure. And I don't want to add details. Basically, it just looked like I saw some eyes, but that could be my eye focusing. Not being able to see is very weird. I just had my eyes slightly like a crack open. and it was just like whiteness, and I was just like staring into the whiteness, trying to figure it out. And then I closed my eyes, and then when I sort of opened, it's just like just a normal darkened room, really. And I think I just checked my phone and probably decided to go to the toilet. I thought, oh, well, I might as well go to the toilet one. Sometimes I have this thing where I meditate. If I'm relaxing and meditating, I'm concentrating my heart or doing some of this like different types of yoga, basically. So you've got mindfulness and you've got heartfulness, and I went and did some heartfulness for a while. And it's basically a practice of focusing on a singularity or this point in your body to connect, to form a deeper connection with. So maybe for the mindfulness, it might be like the third eye. It might be sort of seeing things and stuff like that. But for the heartfulness, even though there is some mind work in there, mindfulness in there, but that's a starting point for people that haven't really focused on their feelings and connecting with that part of them, really, because your feelings and also have memories and other connected things there, because your heart needs to know how to respond to situations, and as a result you've offloaded some stress into that, and so some of that is disrupting your nervous system, your parasympathetic nervous system. Yeah, so it's a part of that, really. But what happens is when I'm meditating, sometimes I might see this bright light, and it's probably behind me, and it's behind me to the right side of me, back behind me. So maybe it's like a celestial stem or something. It just seems brighter there, even though it's not in my visual. It's not in front of me, but put it that way, with my eyes closed, I can still pick up the sunlight there and so on. There's all these roadworks. So if I go here, that's what it says. There's an alley there or something. We'll keep that. An avenue, so keep that open. Yeah, it's just trying to explore that dimension, that understanding. I mean, I was aware of things go internal. This religious woman I sometimes speak to, and she sort of said, it's all inside you, like spiritual stuff is kind of like inside you, it's not outside of you. Like the physical world doesn't have any of that. Or in some ways she kind of communicates that. And she's very much, if it's the physical and the spirits, and that's it really. There's two sort of dimensions that are separated. But it's still confusing, because it seems like the flesh is less important. But you think if it's a dimension that can't be directly affected by, it can be influenced, but not directly affected by sort of spirits in that sense. And then also that structure is that these aliens are some sort of spirit or something. But then they'd have to address that at some level, because the issue we got is, you say, it's heaven, it's outer space. Well, isn't it outer space? If you're going upwards, it's because it was an unexplored region. So it seems to have drawn a lot of interest, because there was things going on in there that seemed to affect the earth below. So it was worth analysing. I mean, you couldn't ignore it, like stars or twinkling planets moving around and shooting stars and stuff. And then the blue of it is the ocean of the sky. So that's curious things. So I don't know. So I revisit that. I mean, why would there be a connection like that? I'd never rule out anything, even if I consider it might fall into the camp of imaginary. However, that kind of neurological thing isn't something I've experienced, like a whiteout. It's usually associated with blood pressure. It's usually a blackout if your eyes, because what happens is when you open your eyes, they adjust from a darker spectrum, usually upwards, to the level of light. And so you might see shadows that sort of disappear, because your eyes are starting to focus and make sense of the room. Not usually in a white spectrum. Pretty scary having to go blind, isn't it? So anything else? So yeah, so I've been quite busy on other things, and I'm hoping that like in the future I could do actually more stuff of interest, which I've been talking about for a while. But it's just going to create in the right conditions. So I've got my crypto. We're entering the bull run. I don't know how high it will go. I've got a couple of different sort of wallets with different amounts in there that I put my own money into. Some of them I was sort of able to make money from something I invested, but because it's slumped a bit, the market, and there's been times when if I took the money out, held on to it and then put it back in, I could have doubled my money, but the risk is just so high. I could take the money out and then it could go up double, and then I feel like I want to re-enter, but I can't. And that's actually, you have to sort of say, slap on your wrist, you can't do that. I do have a plan though. So we've got this, like, well, they don't use the term quantitative easing, but they basically they inflate the market while they reduce rates, and then people move their assets around, which is some of it goes into crypto and some other places, and that starts to run up in price. And that's a typical cycle. And if that kind of changes, then the market changes. So if there's something in the future we're saying, hang on, no, we're not going to inflate. I'm getting some thirsty car behind me. We're not going to inflate the market, and we're going to do it differently this time. We're going to reset the market and give everyone universal credits and stuff. You're not going to earn, whatever you got in your bank, great. But what's going to happen is you're going to start getting universal credit based on a work, but like a what you need system. And it will, imagine that credits, it goes up. Like if you get a qualifications in your uni or whatever, then trying to get the engine to get a bit more speed. Only got a small engine, beast in behind me. Like you got paid credits, so these credits got paid based on your merit and performance. And the thing is, how do you break it if you slip down the ladder? If you get penalised because you can't create a situation where people can go up the ladder. And there was another theory I come across today, was that the larger the population, the smaller the nation. So what's happened is, as the population increases to a large size, that the country becomes more divided into sections. I don't know what the critical mass of it is, almost. Because the infrastructure just can't cope. If you've got all these, if you've got a large nation with a high density population, it's difficult to manage, or if it's spread out. So you've got a few different dynamics. Like Russia's large; it's a country of countries. And as some areas pick up in populations, they in essence become in their own sovereign states. Like look at St. Petersburg and Moscow, they're quite culturally different. So what happens when populations shrink? Well, the regions might merge with the neighbouring regions if they have a stronger infrastructure. It's like the immigration issues we've got in the UK. Could they plug the gap somewhere else? But then they should be doing it themselves. Should be saying, where am I going to be most successful? Oh, they've got these benefits and things in the UK. That's great. Go there. But actually, it might be there's other countries that will pay people to have kids, or they've got something tax free for someone. But the thing is, I don't think people want to work. That's really what's going on. I want to go to a country where I don't have to work, and I won't be persecuted for I can get away with a lot more. I think that's what's going on. I don't know. Anyways, pick the sign off. Have a great one, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye bye.